share your, there we go. Brilliant. Perfect. There we are. Lovely. Thank you for that look. And over to you, John. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. So good afternoon. As David mentioned, my name is John Blake. I am the Executive Director here at ChoiceWORX for Product Solution Architecture. I have with me today Sal Finelli. Sal is the Director of Business Development here, and he is my partner in crime with this product, Apptinuum. So for today, what we're going to do is just kind of run through just a couple slides to, really set the stage around the product, and I'll invite Sal to, inject any color as needed. And then I'll spend probably about 10-15 minutes in the actual tool itself for the demo. And if we have some time at the end for Q&A, I also know there's a panel coming up here in about 45 minutes or so. So if there's any questions, we can address them there as well. Okay, so in the industry, I'm pretty sure everyone's seeing this as a trend. It is a race to zero across labor costs and downtime. In the late 90s, we were really looking at, how do we onshore, kind of recover some of our savings. And so it was around 10 to 20% that we could get from that one. So then there was the big push to move offshore via global outsourcing. And then that netted around 20 to 35% or so of the savings. And that worked out pretty well. But now really it's a much, I think, harder push to get to what we're calling no-shore, which is really the use of digital labor to really try and minimize the amount of human labor, specifically around the L1. So our vision is really to, like I said, get to zero labor cost. And I'm sure Sal will probably shoot me if I say it. I don't think we're ever going to get to absolute zero there. But I think that, we're going to be near zero when we get to managing anything with a chip and a plug. So that's, inclusive of PCs, of bots, IoT devices, things like that. So the way we are looking at, this problem is, we would like to approach remediation of these devices proactively, instantaneously, and autonomously. And I'll get into a little bit of what that actually means. So I really wish I had the Zoom raise your hand button, because I would love to ask this question and see all of the hands get raised. If you've ever had this end user experience, and I'll say I actually just had this dealing with a parcel carrier that lost one of my parcels. I probably look like that guy on the phone right there in the picture. But the experience is, you have an issue with your end user device. So you pick up the phone and you call your help desk. You wait in the queue, and eventually you get in touch with someone at the other end. You give them all of your personal information, your device information, and then you're trying to describe your problem. And this is where we're looking at it as a digital to analog conversation. And this is where I think a lot of the breakdown happens. So next, they try and fix the problem, and they don't get it. So they're going to go ahead and transfer you. And then guess what? You have to explain your problem again, maybe even give some of your device information. They take control of your device, and you sit there unproductively, and you're getting more and more frustrated. And the clock is running, right? So this is 15 minutes, could be hours, could even be a next day fix. So this is this horrible cycle that we're trying to actually get in the middle of. And we see, really that from a 1,000 user enterprise, up. Help desk is really crucial, and it's expensive, right? And it's certainly a challenge to manage there.
Yep, John, if I may, what we see, and which is interesting, right? You mentioned we've all been through this, calling the help desk, spending a significant amount of time often being frustrated. The service desk agent or engineer is often being frustrated. And it's simply because, I guess the takeaway from this slide is the user is conveying an issue verbally, or what we would term as an analog message, to a service desk agent, who is then taking that analog message and putting it back into the system digitally. So during this entire period, and if you do, you can probably get escalated to a level 2, and the same process happens over and over. The key here is you're taking a digital message from your computer saying, I have an error, my app crashed, my browser's slow, whatever it may be, and then you're making a call to an agent, a live agent, and you're converting that to analog, they're putting it back into digital, and that back and forth is not only time consuming, but it's often very frustrated. And what we've done, which John will talk a little bit more about, is we've tried to confine the issue to a digital channel where you have a bot talking to a reasoning engine. And not to steal John's thunder, he'll talk more about it, but just that simple process of eliminating human intervention condenses the time immensely to seconds, as opposed to 30 minutes, an hour, or 4 hours.
Great, thank you, Sal. So, you know, as Sal just perfectly teed me up for, so what we're doing is we are a proactive AI-powered support tool for the end user, right? So what we're really looking to do is, you know, increase customer satisfaction, reduce the labor costs, reduce the volume of calls to the service desk, deliver innovation and continuous improvement, and, you know, ultimately reduce or eliminate service level credits. And how we're doing that is, you know, as Sal mentioned, is really establishing a digital to digital conversation. So, you know, on the top left here, we have the device or application that fails. It does, in fact, generate a lot of digital information, which we then have to translate into analog, as Sal said. But instead, what our application does is takes that digital message and directly sends that to our AI-powered reasoning engine, which then in turn will compose a remediation based on the knowledge that we have there. And it delivers the remediation steps to the support bot to execute. And you can see the time reduction here. We're talking 30 seconds to 5 minutes problems are being solved. So we are preemptively you know, really getting in front of the support journey. And on the right, I'm not going to go through this whole thing because I'll talk a little bit more about it. But how we work is we acquire, aggregate, analyze, and act. And I'll kind of touch on each one of those chevrons as we go through the demonstration. So just really quickly, I wanted to put up a case study to really kind of showcase you know, what we're doing for our customers. So, you know, as I went through my list in the previous slide, you know, these are the 5 objectives that our customer was looking to achieve as part of our partnership with them using this tool. And as you can see in the middle for the outcomes, you know, we have a very sophisticated, you know, custom ROI calculator that we can, you know, work with customers to, you know, really kind of understand what will be the actual savings leveraging this tool. And so for this customer, we projected a $10 million savings over 3 years. 92% of the calls were resolved purely with digital labor. So that means that completely stepped in the middle of, you know, the L1 desk. So we averaged out our handle time for all of these events, and we netted out to about a 38-second average handle time for all of that. The industry standard, you know, close enough, is 6.4 minutes. And that's actually talking to an L1 service desk agent. So, you know, we're over 1,000% ahead of the game here, leveraging Apptinuum. And the end user is happy, right? And that's really, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is make sure that the users are satisfied with all of the devices, really to try and get in front of some of the, shadow IT and rogue devices being brought into environments just because, users can't do their job effectively. And so you can see on the right here, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but this is kind of the breakout of how we went through all of the calls there.
If I may, John, that 6.4-minute resolution or call handle time is specific to first call resolution for simple items when speaking with the help desk, as compared to our 38-second hand time, which handled several more difficult issues. But we're putting up a conservative approach here, just assuming that the level 1 help desk agent is resolving the problem on the first call and a relatively minor issue. Otherwise, that 6.4 minutes is exponentially higher.
Awesome. Thank you, Sal. All right, so I think that's enough slides. Let's get into the demo here. So I'd like to just set the stage a little bit to give some context around the tool. So we are a SaaS service. We do have a very lightweight support bot that does get installed on the end device. These devices can be Windows, it can be OS X, or it can be Linux. Those are the OSs we support. And as you saw a little bit earlier on one of my slides, we are very close to expanding out into the rest of the IoT type devices there. So the point of this whole piece here is that what I want to show is this is the telemetry data that really is going to be transmitted from the support bot up to our data lake and AI reasoning engine. This is all de-identified information, so there is no impact to PII, and we can have a conversation further about that if you wish. But this is a sample of the data that we're collecting. And it's a very simple approach to getting started. You really just hit our website, ask to get a user account set up, pull the bot down, install it, and off you go from there. So from an onboarding perspective, as an overview, we really try and align to organizational hierarchy, right? We have sensitivity to users and roles. We only really have 3 roles. We have the administrator, which is the super user, the manager, and the user. So this will align directly to any of your organizational hierarchies, inclusive of if you are a service provider and you are looking to use this tool to manage some of your customer base, so you can wall them out appropriately. So as I mentioned, the onboarding is very simple. The admin registers, downloads, and distributes. So from a distribution perspective, this can be a manual process if you wish. You can put that in as part of your image that gets distributed or updated or managed via SCCM, and can also be fully headless and do an auto registration so that users are not even aware that this is happening. And then the end user device is ready for remediation. Now, as far as remediation goes, we really have kind of 2 views of remediation, and I'll start with the box on the right, and that's this interactive one, right? So that's what we call conversational. So that's really interacting directly with the support bot, and I'll show you some 1 or 2 items there as part of the demonstration. And then we have autonomous, which is instantaneous and proactive. Instantaneous being if an application throws a fault or crashes, we will catch that as part of the support bot and immediately start the conversation with the AI engine to understand the correct remediation for the fault, and then go ahead and fix that. Proactive is really taking a look at configuration drift and if there's any changes or you know, slide in how the end state of the device is set, we can, you know, take steps to go ahead and fix that. So let's get into the demonstration here. So I'm going to just jump out of PowerPoint. So here we have our Windows machine. As I mentioned, we have the support bot, which runs locally on the device. So I'll just kind of bring that up and show you that we have a very lightweight service that's running down here that's you know, collecting some information. And I'll go through this in a moment. So this is our interface, okay? And so I'm gonna jump over actually to the users. And as you can see, I'm currently logged in as the administrator. And as I mentioned, you know, I am the super user here. I'm fortunate enough to, I wish, be the CEO here of this company. So I have, you know, visibility into all of the managers and users and devices, okay? So you can filter based on if you want to just see administrator, the manager, or the team members. And so it's pretty straightforward. Nothing, you know, terribly exciting from a user's perspective. However, this is where the magic really is, and this is around the devices. Okay, and so, you know, for each persona, this Gentatum, which would be me, and then Purnima is, you know, one of the users. So I have 3 devices. I've got an office machine, an analytics, and a huddle. And so again, we can filter through those as you wish. Now you can see we have add device, mass deploy bot, or the auto register. This is what I was saying earlier about how do we, you know, go about distribution of the bot. We can do a mass deploy if you wish. We can do this silently and then do the auto registration so that the support bot will just be there on the end user device and ready to go. So as part of you know, our device list, you can drill into each device, and this is where you're going to start to see some timeline. So the timeline is really here to show you exactly at what time you know, the application took a step to you know, maybe do a remediation instantaneously. Maybe there was a conversation around a printer, etc. So you can see there's lots of timeline history, and we can go back pretty far. The information here in device talks about the device detail. And this is all of that earlier telemetry data that I was telling you that's de-identified, that is not associated in any way, shape, or form with a user or personal information. So again, you can see we have, you know, network and printer information here. We have, you know, what software is on the device and you know, what we're paying attention to here. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of that. So what I wanted to do now was go ahead and start with a conversational remediation. You remember I said we have, you know, the autonomous and we have the interactive. So if I click on the support specialist bot down here, you can see we're initiating a conversation. Any automatic improvements, this is the one where I was saying that it's paying attention to configuration drift. This will happen automatically. And so from here, what we'll do is select which of these 3 machines that are associated with our persona we would like to have a remediation done. So this is very similar to that circle at the beginning where we're talking to the L1 agent for the help desk. So I'm going to say office machine, since that's the one that I'm on. And what I'm going to do is just trigger a little problem here. And so, you know, normally we would have a disk that looks something like this. But, you know, when we have a problem where, whoops, the disk is very full and the user doesn't know what to do, instead of getting on the phone, they can come in here and say, okay, Printer, performance, oh, disk space. So I'm going to go ahead and select disk space. And as you see here, we can raise this as an emergency to trigger this immediately, or if we need to, not really deal with this right now, we can do not urgent. So I'm going to select emergency since we're going through demo. So we're immediately triggering the remediation. And as you can see, we're going to list out each and every step that the tool is going through. It's having the conversation right now with the AI engine to understand the remediation steps to fix this particular issue. And before I have even been able to finish my talk track here, we have found 76% free space on the disk. And so now it's saying, okay, great, did this solve your problem? So let's check and see if that actually did solve our problem. And sure enough, the hard drive is now back to where it needed to be. And so that was about, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute from a remediation perspective. And so, yes, in fact, that did solve my problem. And so that's that. Now I'd like to show just one more quick problem here. So I'll go through this one just a little bit quicker. So we're going to go the same machine, but this time I'm having an issue with my printer. Again, we're going to say it's an emergency. Okay. So right now what it's doing is taking a look at the print spooler service, and it's doing a restart on that service, since that's as part of the knowledge, one of the primary issues that's there. I'm going to say no, that this did not in fact fix my problem. And the reason that this can actually happen is because that printer may be out of toner. It may have no paper, it may be jammed. So there is actual, human intervention that's required to go and take a look at that printer itself. And this is really what I meant when I said earlier that, I don't think that we're going to get to zero as part of our tickets, but we can certainly bring that, very, very far down. And so what's happened is this is being escalated, and how that's being escalated is via a smart card. So this smart card will integrate directly with your ticketing system. We do integrate with things like ServiceNow, where it will immediately trigger the generation of the ticket for someone to go take a look at this particular printer. Okay. So I'm going to close that out. And so now what I would like to do is, really demonstrate some of the power of Apptinuum. And that's in the instantaneous remediation of issues. So when a user, goes to open an application and let's just say they're going to work on their PDF, and as you can see, the application open just fine for me. And then I need to, close that up and do what I need to do, and then, come back to that particular issue. Thank you. And now, when the user comes and they need to come back to open their Adobe, oops, it crashed. And as you see, immediately, Apptinuum has caught that application has crashed and has notified the user that we see that application has crashed, and there is no need to pick up the phone. There's no need to interact with a bot. We are handling the remediation directly. And so, as I mentioned earlier, what's going on right now is the support bot is having a chat with the AI engine in the cloud, and is figuring out how to go ahead and fix the application. And as you can see, once again, before I could even finish my narrative, we got a notification that the application has been remediated, and there you go. So the application is now back up and running. Okay, and so just really quickly, I have one more little piece of the application that I'd like to go through here with you, and then I'll see if we have a couple more slides, and then we should be good to go. So from a reporting perspective, we have a very easy dashboard to come to where you can take a look at the number of issues generated by month. So you can see for September, we had 101. October, we're up to about 60 already. And you can actually go ahead and click into that if you wish. We've actually also broken this out by remediation type. And as I've gone through, we have the conversational, which was having the chat with the bot, and then proactive and instantaneous. And as I mentioned, you can click down into each one of those. But really what that's going to do is bring you down to here, and it's going to filter accordingly. So as you can see, here was our Adobe Acrobat application crash that we've demonstrated as part of this demo. We had the printer issue that generated the smart card, and we had a disk space issue that we resolved as well. So really very, as I said, it's a very, lightweight front end from the user's perspective. The magic is really in the AI reasoning engine that exists up in the cloud. And so now I'm going to just jump back into our PowerPoint here.
John, while you're jumping back, I just want to point out a couple of things. Thanks, it was a great job. What John illustrated to you, particularly in the conversational mode, I just want to point out we have clients that would prefer the least bit, if not any interaction with the user. So those would be autonomous remediations. John was showing you the conversational mode so that we can actually physically show you on a screen, as opposed to just clicking in and say the problem was fixed. It's more of a way for illustration purposes to show you step by step what's taking place. But when we do these demos, clients often ask, well, I don't want my end user to make these decisions unless they're specific cases where maybe the user wants it that way or whatever, for whatever reason. So typically clients select to do them in instantaneous mode, which really minimizes the interaction between the support bot and the end user, and certainly cuts down on the time for remediation.
Great, thank you, Sal. Okay, so I just have a couple more slides. So I think we're doing pretty well on time. So I was really hoping that we could make sure we had just a little leeway at the end if there were any questions. So again, this is, kind of the benefits slide of, really what are we trying to solve and how are we messaging this to our customers? And it's really around a reduction of labor costs, right? I mean, let's be honest. We're all really focused on, tightening the belts, especially right now in this crazy age. And so, we're targeting pretty conservatively 40 to 70% of an IT savings by, using digital labor and proactive fault remediation, right? And so what this really, is saying is, we're getting in front of the, having to get on the phone with the service desk and all of the costs associated with that. But one thing I really, would like to point out is that we are, and I've said it a couple times, we are an AI reasoning-based engine. We are not script-based. So scripts are really, really focused on a point in time moment of configuration for that device. And what we've seen is that, that particular snapshot in time is how the scripts are built and how those, device configurations and snapshots are stored, in the systems of record. There's a lot of time between when those, points in time and currency, and things change, right? Everyone knows things change often. And so scripts aren't really going to be able to, keep up with that. And that's why, we really see the power of our AI engine as being able to adapt and learn to the environments, and to be really very fluid in how they handle how we handle remediations. And I'll show you in the next slide where we have, I think it's around 125 or so KIs that are built to support everything that we've seen in environments with our customers out of the box. But we're learning all the time, and we're continuously adding these knowledge components to our AI engine. And why we're doing that is we really want to continue to improve the end user experience. And we want to do that by being proactive, by staying in front of all of the incidents that are taking place. And we want to do that as quickly as possible. As you saw with the instantaneous remediation, it's 30 seconds to a minute to fix an application crash. And finally, we're looking to reduce, as I mentioned, inbound traffic to the L1 desk and reduce the number of tickets overall. Okay, and as I mentioned, and I'm glad I remembered the number correctly, it's, and I'm pretty sure that this has actually gone up, not down since I've put these slides together. So these are our use cases, right? So when we work with the customer, this is what we're coming to the customer with right out of the box, right? So we're looking at, maybe there's a corrupt Office file, maybe, there's an Outlook crash, emails aren't syncing, Skype, even, SCCM. You remember how I mentioned that, SCCM can be used to, push us out into the environment. We also look at the SCCM agents as well, and it's just another application that, maybe there's an issue with loading that client. Maybe a package didn't install correctly. So we have these remediations that are, built in, and as I said, really get the customer started right out of the gate. We have, connectivity issues. Maybe we need to take a look at your IP settings. VPN, as I mentioned, right now, and with COVID, there's a lot of remote work that's taking place, and so there's a huge spike in events that are taking place that are associated with connectivity, not being able to get into, via the VPN, the collaboration tools, et cetera, right? Maybe just having a browser challenge, et cetera. So, as I said, this is what we can come with, and we are continually building on these use cases, and as we work with our customers, we develop that as well. So I'm just at about, it looks like 5 minutes or so left. I'm not sure how we're going to handle the questions, David. Are we going to do open mic, or are we just going to look through chat?
Thank you, John. Well, we've actually gone over. We were due to finish at 3:55 on this one, okay? But it's cool because we come out to the panel shortly. So some of these questions will play out there, okay? So we're going to move on, guys. Thank you for that. Again, another thought-provoking presentation about where we're going, I think, in IT support. So thank you for that. We're just going to finish this broadcast here, guys. Again, same thing. It'll take us a couple of seconds, a minute or two, just to swap onto the next one. So please rejoin us, refresh your browser in a minute or so and rejoin, and we'll be right back. Thank you very much.